Have you seen this guy lately? You probably know his name. He is everywhere. A millennial, Muslim, a democratic socialist. Born in Uganda, now an American. He makes videos in Hindi, Urdu, Spanish, Arabic. He was even making rap music under the name Young Cardamom. He speaks out for Palestinian rights, jokes about halal food prices, champions free childcare, and he even admits he met his wife on a dating app. But who is Zohran Mamdani? Zohran Kwame Mamdani was born in Kampala, Uganda in 1991. He landed in New York at age 7 and accepted American citizenship in 2018. His middle name, Kwame, was given by his father in honor of Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana. His family story is a complex portrait of the global Indian diaspora. Both his parents are of Indian descent. His mother, Mira Nair, is a Punjabi Hindu born in Rourkela. Her mother, Mamdani's maternal grandmother, was a social worker and founded Balak tribe. His father, Mahmud Mamdani, is a Gujarati Muslim born in Bombay. His father's family was part of the Indian diaspora in Southeast Africa. His paternal grandparents were born in present-day Tanzania, and he grew up primarily in Uganda. Mamdani grew up in Queens and knows the New York from a very different side. New Yorker speaks more than 800 languages, and as many as 2.5 million struggle to communicate in English. Before running for office, Zohran was a foreclosure prevention housing counselor in Queens, sitting in living rooms, meeting families on the edge of losing everything. That experience became his foundation. In 2020, he defeated a long-time Democratic incumbent and won the state assembly seat for Astoria, running on one thing: affordability. Very few people knew about Mamdani 6 months ago. The jump from the state assembly member to mayoral frontrunner happened in June 2025. Mamdani won the Democratic primary, defeating a giant of New York politics, Andrew Cuomo. It was a political shock. The final rank choices tallies made it official, roughly 56% for Mamdani to 44% for Cuomo. National outlets went wild. But this victory quickly turned the race national. Donald Trump attacked Mamdani on social media, branding him 100% communist lunatic and backing calls by conservative lawmakers to investigate Mamdani's naturalization, with some even calling for him to be deported. Mamdani dismissed the push as racist bullshit. White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt misnamed him Zamdani and called him an anti-Semitic communist. All these attacks made him more popular around the world, not only in New York. Mamdani's platform is a social democratic dream built on 4 pillars: a rent freeze on all rent stabilized homes, fare-free, faster buses for all New Yorkers, universal childcare free at the point of use, pay for it all with higher taxes on the very rich, and public options like city-run grocery stores to force prices down. But here is the reality check. Mamdani's biggest promises hit hard levers controlled by others. Rent is decided by the Rent Guidelines Board. The mayor can only influence it. Buses are run by the MTA, which is controlled by the state. And most importantly, all these new taxes on high earners, they need Albany's approval. Governor Katihokul has been absolutely clear: no new income tax hikes in 2025. The goal is clear: the path runs directly through state power. Why did Mamdani's message land so hard? Because New Yorkers are fed up. A coffee can cost $6, a plate of halal food $10. In the second quarter of 2025, the median asking rent equaled about 55% of a typical household income, almost double the 30% affordability rule. If you live in Manhattan, your total cost of living is more than twice the US average. And while real wages nationally are slightly up since the pandemic, in New York City the inflation adjusted wages were flat to down in 2023 and 24. If you just want to survive in New York, you may need two jobs. That's the daily grinding pressure Mamdani's campaign speaks to. Mamdani's coalition is broad, young, and multi-ethnic and actively built through targeted community organizing, leveraging both identity and material needs. Let's begin with Latino voters. They respond to his Spanish language content and organizing on immediate issues like rent and transit across Queens and Brooklyn. Muslim communities connect with him on identity, but also on material policy issues like civil rights, cost of living, including his focus on halalflation and foreign policy concerns. The Black, Indian, and Pakistani communities form a critical base in Queens and Brooklyn, Mamdani's political heartland. The Jewish community is divided. Some leaders like Rabbi Elliot Cosgrove strongly oppose his foreign policy stance, but progressive Jewish groups and figures like Rabbi Sharon Kleinbaum have shared his stage. Mamdani visits LGBTQI communities often and has significant popularity among them. His appeal here is built on three pillars: housing and transit, identity and heritage, small business costs. New York financial strain affects not only low-income families, but also young millennial professionals like Mamdani, who comes from a privileged background. Mamdani's unique voice allows him to reach these diverse groups under the simple banner of economic survival. Mamdani now faces two rivals in the general election. The first one is Andrew Cuomo. After that stunning primary loss, Cuomo stayed in the race of an independent line. He argues that only his experience can deliver safety and growth. However, his campaign is running against the backdrop of the sexual harassment allegations that forced him to resign as governor in 2021, where the state attorney general found credible evidence that he had harassed 11 women. Yes, 11 women. More recently, the former governor drew sharp condemnation after a radio exchange with the host Sid Rosenberg. Mamdani slammed the comment as disgusting and racist. Cuomo later tried to deflect by claiming those were not his words, but the host's. Cuomo's campaign also faced backlash for putting out an AI-generated political ad that featured deepfake criminals endorsing Mamdani and his policies. The ad was widely criticized for racism and Islamophobia, especially because it included a portrayal of a black pimp. The ad was later taken down. The second one is Curtis Sliwa. Running again after 2021, Sliwa is the founder of the Guardian Angels vigilante group. He focuses on crime, migrants, and channeling cost of living anger from the right. He's also running on a Protect Animal line and heavily courts outer borough voters. Many say he's a good uncle, but not made for politics. Election day is Tuesday, November 4. Early voting runs the week before. The final debate put Mamdani, Cuomo, and Sliwa on one stage, showcasing the raw division in the city. Recent polls show Mamdani leading in this three-way race, but the real work begins after the vote. The winner faces immediate and difficult talks with Albany on buses, taxes, and housing funding. This video is part 1 of New York mayoral race. Part 2 drops right after November 4 with the final results, a breakdown of who voted for whom and what the winner's first 100 days could look like. So, who is Zohran Mamdani again? He's Queen's organizer who successfully turned affordability anger into a citywide platform. To fans, he's the social mayor who made finally make life cheap. To critics, he's too costly for a city with a shrinking tax base. The next chapter will tell us if his numbers balance and if New York can afford the change it wants. Which lever should the next mayor pull first? Rent freeze, free buses, or childcare, and why? Drop the argument below.